Welcome back to the Health Attack. It's Matty Brennan here, and today I want to share experiences that has helped shape my life and my relationships with other people growing up. Now, growing up, I was never the greatest with people. I wasn't the greatest people person, you could say. And I didn't really understand because I always thought that I had to say how cool I was, what I could do, what I had was going to make a difference to the way people saw me, the way people would like me, the way people were interested in me. And as time went by, the more I spoke about how cool I was, how awesome I am, what I could do, and brag and boast about my abilities, the less people seemed to be interested in me, the less people generally wanted to be around me. And I didn't get it because when I spoke to these people, I was very interested in them. And yet they weren't interested in me. And yet I was always speaking about myself, about how cool I was. And I wasn't really listening or hearing anything they had to say. And it wasn't until this time, it was mainly through my high school career, that I thought to myself, how can I make the change? How can I get people more interested in me? Because I seem to be interested in everybody else, and yet no one was interested in me. And I thought to myself, okay, this whole time I'm talking about myself. I'm talking about what I want, what I have, who I am, my abilities. What about if I change it? Now, find out what other people are good at, what they like to brag about, and listen to them. And I made this switch, and I started asking people questions about them, finding out what they liked, what they are passionate about, and let them brag, let them speak about what they love to do, what they are so good at, what they are so magnificent in life at. And it changed my total approach and outlook on these people. Now people became interested in me. And this was mainly through my college career as I developed these skills, being around so many people and testing it, that now I had the upper hand. People were interested in me. And all I did was listen to what they had to say, listen to how good they were, what they were interested in, what they were passionate about, and just listen. I never really spoke about what I was good at, what I liked, what I really was passionate about in my life. And yet people seemed to be more interested in me. And yet I became less interested in the other people. I would listen intently to what they had to say, but without speaking and telling what I enjoyed and what I was passionate about, I seemed to be getting more interest from other people. So as time went by, yeah, people started becoming more interested in me. It definitely helped in a lot of aspects in my life. Relationships with girls, business, getting what I wanted, jobs even. Getting jobs that I may not have been qualified or may not have had the skills, but just by getting conversation, allowing other people to be interested in me, it allowed me to have all these opportunities. But as time went by, I wasn't fully fulfilled. It didn't make sense for me to listen to other people about how cool they were, what they were interested about, if it didn't really appeal to me, if I wasn't genuinely interested in what the topic and conversations and their interests. So I took it a step further. I'm like, how can I enjoy this process? How can I make listening to what other people love and their skills and attributes and what they do more exciting for me? And in the process, the excitement for me can be reflected back on them. So what I started to do was I found what it is that they were passionate about and also what I was passionate about. And once we got to the point where they love to brag, boast, and talk about what it is that they are great at, what they are good at, what they can do, what they have. And as long as that aligned with what I was passionate about, now when I listened to what they had to say, one, I listened intently because I wanted to learn what they had to say about that. But secondly, I was intrigued. I had so much more excitement. I was interested in the conversation, the topic of the process. And now not only are people interested in me from me listening, but now I'm listening to a topic that I am passionate about and the other person is passionate about. So it was a great win-win situation in the process, and people became more interested in me. So now I know you guys may be out there wondering, hey Maddie, I go up to so many people and all I have to say is good, fine, thank you, Nice to meet you. Cool. Thanks for sharing. Okay, go away. All these little things, and it's a one-word response. And I get that. People are closed off sometimes. They're shy, whatever it is. But the key ingredient in this approach that I was doing and getting people to talk about their passions, interests, hobbies, excitement, things that drive them in life was the questions I asked them. The questions were deep, they were intense, and they sparked an interest with that person that they wanted to open up. They wanted to talk about what it is they were passionate about. And again, I know some people are still even closed off to that. So what I did, I found this to be the most successful strategy was with girls, I would flirt, I would throw some banter in, and I would make them laugh. Now, one, they're laughing, they're happy, they feel great, but next they're with me and they feel safe around me, they feel comfortable. We created a bond, they feel joyous being around me, so they're willing to share a lot more. So flirting and bantering, all these things that made them feel good about being around me, helped them to open up, helped them to answer a little bit more. And some other times, I may have to open up with like a vulnerable story and open up and show that, hey, I trust what it is. I'm going to put my trust in you. I'm going to share a story that I've experienced, and now in return, they would be more open. See, but the opposite. With guys, it was a complete different story. Guys, as we build friendships, is mainly based on an event. An event that we do, whether that be, going rock climbing, playing soccer, playing golf together, biking together. These events is how guys mainly form friendships, how I formed friendships in my past. And the key thing was with the guys, I would spark up a conversation, what it is that we shared in common on an event. So a great example that I had in my life was when I find someone and, I sort of had a feeling, I broke it down with some questions and I found out they were interested in golf. Great, I love golf. Instantly, we have an event that we both are passionate about. Not only could we chat about it for hours, which we did, we could go play golf together. We got some 9 holes in, whatever it is. But that sparked a conversation. That allowed them to open up, to share what they're passionate about. And I could sit there for 45 minutes listening to them talk about golf and be completely in tune with what they have to say because I was passionate about it, but they were doing all the talking and they became more interested in me just because I was purely just listening. So I've left so many conversations without saying really much in regards to words, and the other person was just so interested in me, and they felt like I was just a great conversationalist, which baffles me, but I experienced it in the past where I would always want to be around them because they made me feel good and they had a good conversation, but really they were just listening. So the more I listened, the more people were interested in me, more they felt good about themselves. And like I said, this has helped in many aspects of my life just purely by listening what they have to say. Because people always want to brag about themselves, boast, to feel good about themselves. But another key part that people always want to talk about, so number 1 is brag, boast about themselves. But number 2 is people want to talk about their problems. Has there ever been a moment in your life where you have been so caught up, frustrated, angry, whatever it is, and you just wanted someone just to talk to? Someone just to say, hey, I've been going through this, I'm not sure what to do, going, and you're not really seeking an answer from them or a response. You just keep talking and talking and talking, and then in the end you solve the problem for yourself, and you just need a comforting ear to listen intently to you. And a great experience me recently with this is with my coworker. I will go up and I will speak to him about a problem that I'm experiencing in terms of work. I'm not really experiencing the problem. It is a little problem, but I just want someone just to listen to what I have to say. And the more I speak, the more I'm unraveling and solving my problems. And really, my coworker's just listening to what I have to say. And at the end of it, I feel like he was just helpful. He was great. He was very supportive. And yet he just literally sat there and listened to what I have to say. Maybe I had no idea what I was talking about, but it just helped me along the process by just listening. So with that, remember there's 2 things. Listen to what the other person has to say about them bragging, talking about themselves. And then the other one is just listen to what they have to say if they're experiencing problems. So with that being said, guys, get involved in just being around people, speaking to them. And I'd love to hear your stories about how this has worked out for you, whether that be you've been talking more to a person and you felt, you were more interested in them by talking more, or a position where people kept talking to you and their problems just got solved, or they kept talking to you and you became less interested in them but listened intently, and then they seem to be more interested in you. So let me know how that's worked out for you guys in your life, and the parts of actively listening to people. So with that being said, if you like this video and would like to see more of this in the future, please make sure to subscribe. You can do so by clicking the link just up here. And in the next video, we're going to be covering more along the lines of how to get people to like you, to respect you, and want to be around you more. Carrying on a little bit from this episode. So until next time, be genuinely interested about what other people have to say and need, and everyone will be genuinely interested in you. I will see you in the next video.